Yes, good morning, everyone. So, can you able to hear my voice? Please try to respond here. Good morning, everyone. Can you able to hear my voice, please? Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, welcome to the workshop. So, this is, yeah, please. All right. If any questions are there, you can ask at the end of the session. If any questions are there, please ask at the end of the session. Okay, so that so there will not be any disturbance, right? Okay, you can ask at the end of the session. So rather than in the regular class session, right? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So what is the main objective of this workshop is? What is the main objective? What is the main objective of this workshop? The workshop is okay. So in this workshop, you'll be learning how Python communicate with MongoDB, not MongoDB, right? So how Python communicate with MongoDB, which is a database, right? How Python communicate with MongoDB. Like in our regular classes, we have seen how Python communicate with, how Python communicate with Oracle database. In our regular classes, we have seen this, how Python communicate with, like MySQL database. Okay, we have seen these things in our regular session. But now we'll try to see how Python, is able to communicate with MongoDB. So generally every project required to store data or to persist data, to store data or persist data. Every project, whenever you develop any project, it required to store or persist data permanently, right? In order to store the data permanently, in order to store or save data permanently, we use what here? Databases. We use what here? Databases. Every project required to store data or persist data. In order to store or save data permanently, we are trying to use, right? We are trying to use databases. So generally you'll say this database is called as which one here? Backend. Okay, this database is called as which one? Backend. Suppose if Python is a front end, right? Every programming language is called as front end. If the Python is a front end, then you are trying to use the database for storing. I'm not talking about processing instructions, because backend means most of the students, they'll think that like servers, like a web server, Okay, even web server also a backend, and even database also treated as a backend here. So database generally you'll store data or you'll try to save data. But there are various databases available in the market. Like you may use a backend as Oracle. You may use a backend as what? MySQL. See, each database is having its own features. Okay, Oracle is having its own features. MySQL is having its own features, right? So where you'll say Oracle is a relational database management system, RDBMS software. Okay, where Oracle is called as RDBMS. Okay, where MySQL is also called as RDBMS. So these are SQL. Okay, this data is manipulated. Okay, this data is manipulated. This data is manipulated using what? SQL. That is called as structured query language. Structured query language, right? Please, I'll try to answer every question at the end of the session. Please don't type anything in question and answers because, okay, it will be a disturbance, right? Okay, please. Okay, that is my request here. Okay. Yeah, you get the recording of this session. You also get the recording of this session, and you also get notes of this particular session. So this is my Telegram ID. I'll be uploading this in my Telegram. So this is my Telegram. I'll upload all these notes. So this is my Telegram ID. That is Code with Satish Gupta. You can join this Telegram ID. I'll be uploading these notes in the Telegram. I'll be uploading these notes in the Telegram. Now this is my Telegram ID. Okay. This is my Telegram ID. I'll upload all these notes in my Telegram. Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's a public group here. Okay. So each database is having its own features. Like you may use Oracle database, you may use MySQL database. Okay. Like that, you also use one more database which is called as MongoDB. So nowadays this MongoDB is become very popular, right? This MongoDB has become very popular compared to other databases. But what is exactly this MongoDB is, right? So I just prepared some points related with this MongoDB, right? So what is MongoDB here? So what is MongoDB? See, MongoDB is an open source, cross-platform, and distributed documented-based database designed for easy of application development. MongoDB is an open source. You're saying it is an open source, cross-platform, and distributed document-based database. Now, this is what you have to remember this. Document-based database designed for easy of application development. It is no SQL database. It is no SQL database. See here. It is no SQL database. So there is a SQL databases and there is no SQL databases. Now, what is the meaning of no SQL databases? Now, all these are SQL databases where the data will be stored in the form of tables, okay, which contains some rows and columns, okay, which contains some rows and columns, and you try to manipulate it by using a language called SQL, and you try to create relationships and all the things. Okay, that is called as which databases? SQL databases, but it is no SQL database. It is no SQL database, and it is document-based database. Remember this. It is a document-based database, and it is a NoSQL database developed by MongoDB Corporation. MongoDB is a name derived from a word called humongous. It's nothing but huge. Humongous is nothing but huge. It can able to maintain huge amount of data. huge amount of enumerated data or enumerates data. So which means huge and enumerous data can be stored in the MongoDB database. So MongoDB database is built to store huge amount of data, and it is also perform fast. It is also perform fast. So MongoDB is not a relational database management system. Remember this. MongoDB is not a relational database management system. Because of that, it is called as what? NoSQL database. It is not relational database management system. Generally, what will happen in relational management database system? Okay, in relational database management system, the data will be stored in the form of which one? Tables. Okay, and you create relationship between what? These tables. Okay, designing, maintaining database using relational database management system is somewhat complex. Suppose if I want to modify the structure of one table, that might be affect to what? Complete hierarchy of what? Tables. Okay. Yes. So MongoDB is not a relational database management system. It's called as a NoSQL database. It is opposite to SQL based database where it does not normalize data under schemas and tables, where every table has a fixed structure. Every table has a fixed structure. So you're fixed. So the structure cannot be a dynamic, right? The structure is what you are fixed. Instead of, it stores data in collections as a JSON based document and does not enforce schemas. Okay, structure, right? So whereas in okay, MongoDB, the data is stored in the form of which one? Collections. It is stored in the collection as a JSON based documents. You're saying it is a documents and does not enforce schemas. It does not have the tables, rows and columns as other SQL databases like relational database management system. So now if you see the difference between MongoDB and other relational database management systems, now you can see in MongoDB database is database only. In RDBMS like SQL Server, Oracle or MySQL, database is database only. But in Oracle, you'll say database is a collection of tables, and a table is a collection of what here? Records. And record contain a column, and each column contains some value. But when it comes to the MongoDB, which is called as NoSQL database, here table is called as which one? Collection. Okay. And the record is called as which one? Document. Okay. And column is called as which one? Field. In MongoDB, database is a collection. Database contain collection. What is the collection here? Table. Okay. In RDBMS, it is called as a table. But in MongoDB, it is called as what? Collection. And this collection is having which one? Documents. Okay. And document is nothing but what? Row. Document is nothing but what? Row. So collections as a JSON based document. JSON. Okay. MongoDB internally uses JavaScript engine. MongoDB internally uses what? JavaScript engine to manipulate the data. Okay. So JSON format is like key and value based. JSON format is what? Key and value based. In the RDBMS database, a table can have multiple rows and columns. Similarly, in MongoDB, a collection can have multiple documents which are equivalent to the rows, and each document, okay, each document has multiple fields which are equivalent to what? The columns. So document in a single collection can have different fields. Fields are nothing but what here? Columns. Fields are nothing but what here? Columns, right? So in MongoDB, how the data will be stored in? Okay, in MongoDB, the data will be stored in the form of key and value. In MongoDB, the data will be stored in the form of what? Key and value. That is nothing but it is stored in which format? JSON format. The best example is like dictionary. So in Python, what dictionary contain? Key and value. Okay, in MongoDB, A document, a document which is called as a row, which is having key and what is that value. Okay. And this document is put inside what here collection. And these collections are stored inside what database. So database is a collection of collections, and a collection is a collection of which one documents. Okay, so each document has multiple fields which are equivalent to the columns, and documents in a single column have different fields. Documents in single column is having different fields are there in document of a single column. Okay, single column is having different fields, right? So just try to understand this. What is a MongoDB is? In MongoDB, okay, in MongoDB, okay, how the data will be stored in collection, in which format? JSON format. And JSON, it stores the data in the form of key and values. It stores the data in key and value. For example, if you see, this is JSON based document, right? This is called as a document. Yes, what is a document? Come on here, what is a document? In MongoDB, what is a document? Try to respond. What is a document in MongoDB? Those who are watching live and those who are attending here. What is document in MongoDB? Hey, what is a document in MongoDB? Please record. Yes. What is a What is a JSON in? Yes. What is a document in MongoDB? Okay, it is nothing but document is nothing but row. Document is nothing but row. Document is nothing but what? Record. Rows are what is that? Records. Okay. Document is nothing but record. Yes. Yes. It's like a row in what? SQL. Okay. So what is a collection? Try to respond. What is a collection? What is a collection? A collection is what? Please try to respond. Collection is what? Table. Collection is what? Table. Collection is a table. Collection is a table. It's a collection of what? Documents. And each document is called as one record. Collection is a table and document is a record. And this record is in which format? Come on here. This record is in which format? This record is in which format? JSON format. This record is in which format? JSON format, which is in the form of key and what? Value. Okay. It is in the form of key and value. Now you can see these are the values. Suppose every record is having unique identity. Every record is having one unique identity. Okay. Every record is having one unique identity. So that unique identity is called as which one? ID. Yes. BSON. Yes. Yes. Okay. Every record is having unique identity. That ID is called as what? Primary key. Okay. That ID called as which one? Primary key. Okay. Yes. Then you can have fields like first name, last name. These are what here keys. And this ID generated automatically, or you can define the ID. This ID will be generated automatically, or you can define what? ID also. This ID will generate automatically, or you can define what? ID. Generally, IDs will be generated what? Automatically, right? So there is a first name and there is what here? Last name. These are called as what here? Fields. These are called as fields. Now, you don't require to define the database table structure, right? You don't define table structure. This structure can be modified dynamically, right? So that is scalability. Scalable. Now, JSON is what? More scalable compared to what? Relational database management systems, right? So that's the reason MongoDB is so popular. Means it can able to hold both data, like structured data as well as what? Unstructured data. It is able to hold both data, structured as well as what? unstructured, right? Let us see how to install. Yes, just try to understand. What is MongoDB? Come on, try to answer these questions. What is MongoDB? Come on, yeah. What is MongoDB? What is MongoDB? Is a database or not? What is MongoDB? Is a database or not? Yes. MongoDB is a database, but it is which type of database? It is which type of database? Please. MongoDB is a database or not? Yes. It is which type of database? It is which type of database? NoSQL database. To work with this MongoDB, is it required to know SQL? Please. To work with the MongoDB, is it required to know SQL? Is it required to know SQL? No, not required. SQL is not required. You don't require to know the commands like insert, update, delete. No, you don't require to know those commands because it is no SQL database. Okay, you don't require to know the commands like creating tables and generating relationships and all the things, right? You don't require all these things. Okay, yes. Then how to install this MongoDB? Okay, so how the data will be stored in MongoDB, in which format? JSON format. How the data will be stored in MongoDB, in which format? JSON format. So document DB, yes. JSON format, that is key. And what is that? Value, right? Yes. Then next, how to install. But see, I'm not telling how MongoDB related things because our requirement is how Python program communicate with the MongoDB. Okay, how it communicate with MongoDB and how you can work with the MongoDB using what? Python. Okay, so installing MongoDB is a free and open source, right? MongoDB is a free and open source. What you can do is, see, already in my system I installed. Okay, because installing the server will take some time. So I don't want to waste the time. Because of that, I try to keep on all the, screenshots, like how it can be downloaded and installed, how it can be downloaded and what? Install. All the screenshots I put here so that you can download. You can download this from www.mongodb.com. So you can download MongoDB installer. Okay, and you can find the MongoDB on different platforms. Okay, you can just open. Yes, I'm just showing you how this MongoDB can be installed, right? So www. So already I downloaded. Okay, you can open. Okay, MongoDB community download you take because community is what here free. Okay, community is a free. Community is a free. You can just take. Yes, why it is named MongoDB? I said already. Okay, why it is named MongoDB? Already I said. This name is derived from one word. Okay, it is derived from one word. What is that word? What is the word? Humongous, which means huge, which means what here? Huge and enormous, right? So this is one word from which it has been derived. Okay, yes. This is a word from where it is derived, right? Yes. Which can hold a large amount of data. Now what you can do is just go to, okay, MongoDB community. So MongoDB community, right? Otherwise, if you go for products here, in products, you find so many things, right? Atlas and Enterprise Advanced, and one more is what? Community. Now, in this, what you have to do is you have to select Community Edition. Select Community Edition here. Okay. So, Community Server, which is free. So, within the Community Server, yes, within Community Server, okay, within huge, it can hold huge amount of data. Okay. So MongoDB community server. This is community server. Now you can see this is a current stable version, which is 5.0. is the current stable version. Okay, you can just select this stable version. I'm selecting it. So current stable version is 5.0, but this 5.0 will work only on Windows 10. Windows 10. It will work only on Windows 10. But if it is Windows, you can able to download 4.2. Okay, if it is Windows, not Windows 10. If I have any other version of Windows or Windows operating system, you can download 4.2 or other versions. Okay, you can download package MSI, that is Microsoft installer. Okay, Windows 11, see, I said Windows 10 or higher version. 5.0 will work on Windows 10 or higher versions. Windows 10 or higher versions. Higher versions. Windows 10 or higher versions. Okay, you can just download. So after downloading it, yes. So because it will take a lot of time. So here we are going to install free MongoDB database server on our local Windows 7. Now click on the product menu and go to the community server and select. So I put all the steps here. Select the community server. Okay, select the community server. Okay, once you select the community server, this will open a download page where you can select the version, platform and package options. Here we'll download the latest version of MongoDB, Windows platform and MSI. MSI is like Microsoft installer file package. So you just click on which one, download. So all the steps I put here. So click on the download button to download what, installer file. So once fully downloaded, now click on MSI file, which is called as Microsoft installer, and then it will start installing it. Okay, it will ask like this, welcome to MongoDB, right? You click on next. So once you click on next, it will ask for which one, license agreement. Select the license agreement and click on next. And it will ask for two options here. One is complete and one more is what, custom. So allows user to choose which program features you want to install. Okay, so try to select which one here, custom, because if it is complete, it required a lot of space. If it is complete, it required a lot of space. Okay, try to select which one, custom. Try to select the custom. Okay, because this will take a lot of space. Okay, custom. And inside this custom installation, inside this, here you will have two types of installations. One is complete and one more is custom, where you can install only selected things. Okay, now in custom, it will ask you to install what. Okay, now you can select. Okay, click the icon, the tree. Now I want to install MongoDB, right? So complete database, server, client, router, and some tools. That's it. So this feature requires 133 KB on your hard drive. So how much space it is taking here? 133 KB on your hardware or hard drive. But see, it has four subsequent features. This sub features required how much here? 347 MB on your hard drive, right? So if other features, it required more space, but it takes how much MB here? 347 MB to install this particular software. In the custom setup page, okay, you can find this. So install MongoDB as a service. So run service as a network service user, right? Now service name, try to remember the service name. Yeah, service name is nothing but database name. So this database name you have to remember. If you don't remember this database name, you cannot communicate. Okay, so try to remember this service name. And if you want to change the location, you can change the location. Generally, if you don't have enough space, then you change the location. Otherwise, keep as it is, right? Okay, so after defining this, once install DB, Now it will ask you to install MongoDB Compass. This install MongoDB Compass is nothing but this Compass. MongoDB Compass is GUI tool where you can work with what MongoDB database. Like suppose if it is Oracle, you'll use SQL plus. If it is Oracle, you'll use SQL plus. If it is MySQL, you'll use SQL command line or navigator. Okay, like that. Here you can use install MongoDB Compass is a GUI by using which you can interact with MongoDB database. Okay, so click on next. Click on the install button to start installation. Okay, yes, it will take a lot of time actually, maybe 10 to 15 minutes to complete the installation. That is based on the system performance. Okay, so once you click on finish, now your MongoDB get installed. Okay, right. So once the MongoDB is installed, then how can you find out whether it is installed or not? Okay, so actually in my system I installed in C drive. Okay, in C drive, in my system I installed in C drive. In C drive there is a program files. In program files you can find what? MongoDB, and there is a server and 4.2, and in this you find one folder called bin. Okay, you can find one bin folder, and here you find so many applications, right? So many applications are so many commands. Okay, so many applications are so many commands. Okay, so what you can do is you can run one command to work in MongoDB shell. Okay, you can work with the shell to interact with the MongoDB database. That is nothing but is a command line utility. I mean, you can work in console mode. You can work in which mode? Console mode. Okay, you can use command line utility. You can use command line utility. Now, what is the name of that here? Mongo. Okay, suppose I just open command prompt here, CMD. Okay, CMD command prompt. Now here if I'm typing what is the name of the command to open the shell is Mongo. Okay, just type this command. But when you type this command, it is given error, right? Mongo is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program or batch file. Saying Mongo is not recognized because where is this command Mongo? Where is this command Mongo? Where this command is available? So this command is available. Where this command is available? This command, yeah, this command is available where? Yes, where this command is available. This command is available in which folder? It is available in C drive, program files, MongoDB server 4.2 and bin. Okay, so in order to access this command, what we have to do? We have to set the environment. We have to set what here? Environment. Okay, in order to access this command, we have to set the environment. So environment means you have to set the path or not? Yes, you have to set the path. Environment. Until unless you don't set the environment, you cannot, right? So what you have to do is you have to set the path. You have to set the path here. You can set the path in command prompt, but the path what you set at the command prompt is not permanent, right? Is a temporary. Is not permanent, is temporary. So even I try to put existing path also. I don't want to lose the existing path. So I just write here percentage path and percentage. Yes. So now I try to run the command Mongo. So once I run the command Mongo, so I just open which one? Shell. I just open which one? Shell. This is a shell. Okay, this is a shell from where you can work with what? MongoDB. But this is console based or not? This is GUI based or console based? Console based. It means we are working in which mode? Yes, this is console based or not? This is console based. You are working from where? This is console based, means you are working from where? Command prompt. You are working from command prompt. Even you can work in GUI by using okay, Compass. By using Compass, you can able to work in which mode? GUI mode. Okay, you can able to work in GUI mode. Yes. What you have to do here? What you have to do here? What you have to do here? First thing is you have to create what? Database. First thing you have to create what? Database. And within this database, actually we are doing it the backend directly, but creating database, creating collections, everything you can do from where? Python. Creating database, creating everything can be done from where? Front end. Yes. Can you able to hear my voice? All of you, can you able to hear my voice? Please. Yes. Can you able to hear my voice, right? Okay. Yes. Because some students, they are saying, yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Right. So here, what you can do is, right. So once you open the shell, MongoDB shell commands. How can you execute? How can you open the MongoDB shell? Yes, I just try to, okay, I try to put how to open this MongoDB shell. Okay, I'll just put the steps. I forgot to put that steps here. So MongoDB, open MongoDB shell. Okay, so how you open is, before that, you have to set the path. Before that, you have to set the path here. Okay. Sorry. So again, I'm telling you from beginning onwards. So open command prompt. Open command prompt. Open command prompt. So how you open the command prompt? By typing CMD. Open command prompt by typing which one here? CMD. Open command prompt by typing CMD, right? So search for CMD in Explorer. Search for CMD. This is a command prompt here. Okay. And here you have to type. What you have to type here? Okay, what you have to type here? You have to type here Mongo. But if you type Mongo here, what will happen? If you type Mongo here, what will happen? So there is an error saying that Mongo is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program or what? Batch file. Mongo is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program or what? Batch file. Okay. So to avoid this, okay, to avoid this, yes, to avoid this, okay, to avoid this, yes, please. Okay. To avoid this particular error, what you have to do is you have to set the path. So path to the location where your MongoDB is available. Path to the location where your MongoDB is available. So set the path first. And after setting the path, just type after setting the path. So here I set the path. So along with the existing path, now you type Mongo. So this will open Mongo shell. Yes, we need to set the path, right? We need to set the path. Okay. Yes. Okay. So once this is done, right? Once this is done. Okay. Once this is done, So first thing what you have to do is, so here you have to type, okay, type which one here, Mongo at the prompt, okay, type Mongo to open, okay, MongoDB shell. Shell or same thing you can call it as which one, console, MongoDB shell, MongoDB console. Okay, it can be a shell or what is that, console. Now first thing is I want to know how many databases are there. I can use a command called show database. Okay, show databases. I'll just write show DBS. So show DBS, which will show you the databases. Now there are some databases like admin, config, local, and there's one more database called which one? NIT. Okay, so these are existing databases like admin, config, local, and there's one more database called which one? NIT. If you want to create a database, okay, if you want to create a database, you can use, okay, use or switch current database to the Mongo shell variable DB is set to the current database. Okay, you can give the name of the database. For example, I want to create database. If the database is not there, it will create. Use will do two things. One creating and one more is using the existing database. Now use, I try to give the database name. So the name of the database is, okay, name of the database is some payroll. So payroll database. What is the name of the database? Payroll database. Okay, right. So what is the name of the database here? Payroll. Okay, now switch it to DB payroll. Means which database is created here? Payroll database. Payroll means generally payroll database is used to store whose data? Employees data, right? So what is the name of my database? Payroll. Okay, so after that, if I say show DBS, if I say show DBS, is it shown any database called payroll? Is it shown any database called payroll here? No, it is not shown any database called which one? Payroll. Okay, it is not shown any database called which one? Payroll. So why it is not shown the database called payroll? Because until unless, okay, because until unless, okay, because until unless you don't create collections, until unless you don't create a collection, until unless you don't create collection, it will not show you which one? Database. What is it? This database is empty or not? Yes. This database is what here? Empty. This database is empty here. This database is what here? Empty. Now within this database, what you have to do? You have to create a collection. Within this database, what do you have to do? You have to create what? Collection. So how can you create? Okay, how can you create a collection within the database? How can you create a collection is, okay, you can create a collection by using db dot create collection. I'm saying db dot, so db dot, what is the name of this? Create collection. So create collection and it followed by name of the collection. The collection which I want to create is EMP. What is the name of the collection? EMP. What is collection? Please here. What is collection? What is collection? What is collection? Collection is a table. Collection is a table. Collection is a table or not? Collection is a table and documents is, collection is a table, documents is rows. Collection is a table, documents are what? Rows. Collection is a table and document is row, right? Yes. So I created one collection. What is the name of the collection? EMP. So you can see collection is created. Okay, one collection is what here? Created. What is the name of the collection? I created here EMP. What is the name of the collection I created here? EMP is the name of the collection which is created, right? So once the collection is created, db.create collection. So once the collection is created, once the collection is created, within this collection, I can insert the data or not? Yes. How can I insert the data? I can just give, okay, I can just give the command called db means database dot what is the name of what is the name of the yes what is the name of the what do you call it as database? What is the name of the database here? Tell me, what is the name of the database? Our database name is what? Payroll. So payroll, what is the name of the database? Payroll dot insert. So always you insert the data as a key and value pair. Always you insert the data as what? Key and value pair. Always you insert the data as a key and value pair. You insert the data as a key and value pair. Okay. You insert the data as a key and value pair. Okay. Yes. So what is the key I'm giving is, so key is the employee number. What is the key I'm saying here? Employee number separated with colon, like the way how you learn in Python dictionaries. The way how you learn this like dictionary. Okay. Yes. DB dot, because you may have multiple databases, right? You may have multiple databases. Now you have to define. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Payroll dot insert. Payroll dot insert. And what you are inserting here? Employee number. So here key is the employee number and value is some 101. Then key is a employee name. Key is the employee name and value is a some Naresh. So this is one. What is this here? One. What this is? Is it this is one collection or not? Is it this collection is this is one collection? Is it this is one document or not? Yes. So this is one row. This is one row. This is one row. So write result. Write result inside what? EMP. So how can I display the content of this? How can I display the content of this? I'm trying to say db dot. So database dot, what is the name of the database? Payroll dot, what is the name of the function is find. What is the name of the function? Find. Now you can see there is a primary key is created. Now this is ID and employee number is 101 and employee name is what here? Naresh. Employee number is 101 and employee name is a Naresh. Yes, because our database is having how many collections? Yes. Yes, first we create collection like table and then we enter data. How many collections are there in our database? Only one. So by default, it refers to that particular collection. Tribhuvan Patil. Yes. What is the name of this? Who is this? Somebody is asking. Nagaraj. Okay. Yes. How many are there? Only one, right? Only one, right? So by default, it's taken that particular collection or not? Yes. Okay. So after this, you can also define the name of the collection in which you want to insert. Name of the collection in which you can insert, right? So how you are creating a collection now? This is at the back end. You are doing all this at what here? Back end. But I want to do all these operations from where? Front end. Front end means from Python. I want to do all these operations from Python. I want to create a database. I want to create a collection. I want to create documents. I want to read, update, delete. I want to perform all these operations. So generally these operations are called which operations? CRUD operations. Okay, CRUD operations. Every project you do these operations, right? Every project you do these operations, right? Every project you do these operations. Okay, every project you do this operation. These are called as CRUD operations, like create, insert, retrieve, update, and one more is what? Delete. Okay, insert, retrieve, update, and create, retrieve, update, and delete. For example, user registration. User registration is nothing but inserting. Okay, changing the password is what? Updating. Okay, login is what? Retrieving. And removing user is what? Deleting. So any project you develop it, you perform how many operations on the database? You perform how many operations on the database? You perform how many operations on the database? 4 operations. And that operations, generally you call it as CRUD operations, right? Now, how can I perform all these operations from front end? I want to do all these operations from front end. So what is a front end here? What is a front end here? Python. How can I do these operations from Python? How can I do these operations from Python, right? Yes. So for that, now what is my requirement is how Python communicate with MongoDB. How Python communicate with the MongoDB. Yes. No need of commit because no need of commit in MongoDB because it is stored in the form of files. Okay, there's no need of commit rollback. Yes. Okay, now. Yes. No problem. Yes. So just try to understand this. Okay, just try to understand this. Now, how Python communicate with the MongoDB? For example, now already in the regular class we have seen like how Python communicate with various databases. For example, if I want Python should communicate with Oracle database. If I want my Python should communicate with which database? Oracle database. I'm using one library called CX. Okay, CX underscore. What is the name of the API or library? CX underscore Oracle. Okay, using this API or library, you are able to communicate with which database? Oracle database. Suppose if I want to communicate with MySQL database, so is it CX underscore Oracle is a driver or not? Yes, CX underscore Oracle is a driver. CX underscore Oracle is a driver which I'm using to communicate with Oracle database. Okay, assume that this is MySQL database, right? This is MySQL database. I want to communicate with MySQL database, then I use MySQL drivers. That is MySQL. Okay, MySQL, what is that? Connector. So MySQL connector is a library. MySQL connector is a library which I'm using to communicate with which database? MySQL database. To communicate with which database? MySQL database, right? In the same way, my requirement is I want to communicate with which one here? MongoDB. Okay, to communicate with MongoDB, so MongoDB provides one driver called which one? Pymongo. Pymongo is a library or API, which I can use it to communicate with which database here? MongoDB database. Pymongo is a library which I am using it to communicate with which database here? MongoDB database, right? But to communicate with all these databases, I must have the knowledge of which one? SQL and relations and all the things, right? But to communicate with the MongoDB, I don't require to have a knowledge of which one? SQL. Okay, relations, I don't require all these things, right? Because the data will be stored in the form of collections. It is stored in which format? JSON format. So it can hold both data, structured data as well as what? Unstructured data, right? Yes. Now, next step is installing. What is the next step is installing? What is the next step is installing Pymongo. Okay. Installing Pymongo. And how you are installing Pymongo? By using pip tool. Pip is nothing but package installer, right? Just come to this. So I just exit from this. Okay. Oh, sorry. I just exit from this. Okay. Okay. I just exit from this. And after this here, I'm saying pip install. Pip install, what is that? MongoDB. Oh, sorry. Pip install Pymongo. Pip install Pymongo is a library which I'm using it to communicate with, which database? MongoDB database. Now, already it is installed. Already it is installed, right? Yes. If you want, I can uninstall and install again so that you can see Pymongo, right? Pymongo. I'm just uninstalling this. Yes, I'm saying yes. I want to uninstall. Then I'm trying to install pip. So pip install, what is that here? Pymongo. Pip install Pymongo, right? Yes. So it is trying to install. Yes. How can you verify is it installed or not? Just open ideally. Yes. Just open ideally. Just open ideally. And within ideally, just say import. What is the name of my library? Pymongo is a package. What is the name of the package here? Pymongo is the name of the package. Yes. If you're not getting any error, means it has been, this package is installed successfully. If you are getting error, it means the package is not installed successfully. Yeah, preferred package installer, right? Yes. Preferred package installer. Preferred package installer, right? So once it is installed successfully, okay, the next is, so what are the basic steps to communicate with any database is, first you have to establish connection, right? First you have to establish connection, right? So after importing this, now what are the basic steps? Okay, what are the basic steps? Basic steps to communicate with, okay, to communicate with MongoDB. First is you have to establish establish connection to what is that? Database. Establish connection to what here? Database. So generally establishing connection is, in MongoDB point of view, it is nothing but creating which one here? Client. Establishing connection is nothing but, in MongoDB point of view, is called as creating client. In MongoDB point of view, it is called as creating which one? Client. Establishing connection to a database. And after that, next step is creating which one here? Database. And after creating database, next step is what? Creating which one here? Collection. Creating collection. And then next is creating which one here? Documents. Creating documents. And now after creating collection, you perform certain operations, right? What operations you perform here? CRUD operations like inserting, okay, retrieving, okay, inserting, retrieving, updating. And what are the operations you are doing? Deleting. So these are the 4 basic steps These are the 4 basic steps to communicate with which one? MongoDB. These are the 4 basic steps which are used to communicate with what? MongoDB, right? Yes. Right. Yeah. Next is, first thing is you have to create the database. So how can you create a database? To create a database in MongoDB, first thing what you have to do is start by creating a Mongo client object, then specify a connection URL with the correct IP address and the name of the database you want to create. So here, to create a database in MongoDB, start by creating a Mongo client object. Mongo client object. Client object is nothing but connection object. Okay, client object is nothing but connection object here. So start by creating a Mongo client object, then specify a connection URL. Connection URL with the correct IP address and the name of the database you want to create it. If you want to specify the connection URL, URL consists of what here? Protocol. Okay, URL consists of what here? Protocol, and it contain IP address as well as what? Port number. Okay, URL consists of protocol, IP address, and port number of your MongoDB server. Port number of your MongoDB server. Now, how can I find out that? Okay, you can just, when you type the command Mongo, it will open the shell, right? It will open the shell. So within the shell, now when you start the shell, right, you can find here. Okay, you can find, okay, here you can find what is the name of the protocol here? MongoDB. And this is localhost, like 127.0.0.1. Okay. And what is the port number of MongoDB? 27017. This is default. Okay, that's the reason I said, remember, at the time of installation, it is asked service name. What is the service name I've given? MongoDB. Okay, is a protocol. Okay, is a protocol. And you are saying 127.0.0.1. This indicates what here? Port number, IP address. And what is the port number of your server? Okay, 27017. What is the port number of your server? 27017. 27017 is the port number of MongoDB server. Is the port number of your MongoDB server, right? Yes. So where you can find out? You can find out in the shell. Where you can find out? You can find out in the shell itself. You can find out in the shell itself. You can find out in the shell itself, right? So what you have to do is, first step is you have to establish connection, or you have to create Mongo client. So how you create a Mongo client? By using a type called Mongo client. So this will create Mongo client object. It will create a Mongo client object. And within that client, using that client, you create which one? Database. You try to create a database. Just give the name of the database. For example, I want to create a database. Just writing a program for creating a database. Okay. Now, yes, I'm just writing a program for creating a database. This is my database. Yes. So once I run this, now you can see database is created. In the shell, can I check whether this database is created or not? Yes. How can you check whether it is created or not? By using show DBS. Show databases. But is it shown any database here? Yeah, tell me, is it shown any database here? Is it any database with a name? Is it any database with a name? My database? Is it created or is it available or not available? It is not shown. It is not shown. Why? Because it is not shown until unless you don't insert what? Data. Until unless you don't insert what? Data. Is it shown or not shown? Not shown. For that, you have to insert what? Data. Until unless you don't insert the data, is it the database is displayed or not displayed? Not displayed. Okay. The database is not displayed. Okay. The database is not displayed. Right. Okay. Right. The next thing is once the database is created, within this database, once the database is created, okay, you have to check whether this database is exists or not. Okay, by using, you can use print my client dot. My client is nothing but, what is my client? What is my client here? What is my client? My client is nothing but connection of database or not? My client is nothing but connection of database or not? Yes. If you want to list all the database names, you can just write my client dot list database names. My client dot list database names. My client dot list database names, and this will list all the databases. My client dot list database names. This will list all the database names. My client dot list database names. This will list all the database names, right? Just try to listen this my word here. See, this workshop is 2 days. This workshop is 2 days here. Okay, it is not 1 day workshop. It is 2 days workshop here. Okay, I split this workshop into 2 days, and you'll have today as well as tomorrow also. Tomorrow also at the same time. Okay, this workshop is 2 days workshop, today as well as tomorrow. Okay, today as well as tomorrow, because it is not possible to cover, because a lot of things are there in MongoDB. It is not possible to cover everything in 1 day, right? So I try to split this workshop into 2 days. Now today as well as tomorrow. Tomorrow also at 10 a.m. Tomorrow also 10 a.m. Okay, tomorrow also 10 a.m. Okay, tomorrow also 10 a.m. Okay, yes. Now we have created database. We have created what? Database. We have created database here, right? And after creating database, next thing what you have to do, you have to create a collection within the database. To create a collection in MongoDB, use database object and specify the name of the collection you want to create. Specify the name of the collection which you want to create. Okay. Yes. Only 2 days. Okay. Only 2 days. Yes. Only 2 days. Only 2 days. Only 2 days. Yes. This course is only 2 days, today as well as tomorrow. Okay. Today as well as tomorrow. Right. Yes. Why client? Because how can you communicate with the database? Yes. How can you communicate with the database? See, my client is nothing but what here? Okay, in the by if any confusion is there, I'll write here connection. If any confusion is there, I've written what here? Connection. So connection, yes, connection. Patra. Okay, connection. My client is an object of what? Connection. It is a connection object. Yes. See how? See, database server. Database is server or not, Patra? Database is server or not? Come on, yeah. Database is server or not? Yes. Until you don't establish connection. Until you don't establish connection. Until you don't establish connection, how can you perform operations? Yes or no? You have to establish connection. How you are establishing connection? By using which one? Mongo client is a type. Okay, it is a type. It is a class by using which you are creating which one? Connection. Okay, So where your Mongo is running, where your Mongo is running, your Mongo is running in localhost. In the place of localhost, can I give the IP address of the system where your MongoDB server is running or not? Yes, you can give the IP address of the system where your Mongo server is running. No, not a local IP also. If it is there in some other system in the network, in real time, everything will not be there in your system, right? Yes or no? In real time, everything will be there in your system. Is it database will be there in your system? No, database will be running in one system, right? Your job is you have to run, you have to establish. Unless you don't establish connection, you cannot work, right? Yes, it is just like just now we have seen Mongo shell. Mongo shell is there? No. Mongo shell is nothing but Mongo console is nothing but, come on here, Mongo console is nothing but what? Client. Mongo console is nothing but what? Client only. Mongo console is nothing but what? Client only. Okay, na? Mongo console is a client by using which you are trying to communicate with what? Mongo DB server. Okay. Okay. Right. So yes, yes. Just try to understand. Okay, connection. In the place of connection, what is the name I've given? My client. That's it. So can I have multiple clients connections? Can I have multiple connections or not? Can I have multiple connections or not? Yes, I can have multiple connections. I can have multiple connections and okay, within this MongoDB, once you establish connection, you create database. You create database by saying my client. What is this actually? See square bracket. What my client is returning? Is it returning one dictionary or not? My client is hold which one? It hold which one? One dictionary. One dictionary or not? Yes. So my client of. So what you're saying? Name of the database. What is the name of the database? My database. Okay, if the database is already exists, then it might rise what? Error. You can check if a database is exists by listing all databases in your system by simply giving my client means connection dot list database names that will list all the database names. Okay, my client dot list database names that will list all the database names. You get all the database names by using what? List database names, right? Okay. This is first step. Is it first step is clear or not? Come on, yeah, tell me, is it first step is clear? All of you? Establishing connection. How you are establishing connection? By using one type or function called which one? Mongo client. So that will establish connection. That will obtain the connection of what? MongoDB server. Okay, now once established connection. Yes, I showed this practically here. Yes. I showed that also. Pip install Pymongo. Nikita. Yes. G Krishna. Yes. See here, this is program. Import Pymongo, my client. Pymongo dot. What is Pymongo? Is a package. Mongo client. Mongo client is a function which you are using to establish connection to what? Database. Now here I'll try to display the message saying that database is what? Created. Database is created. Okay, na Krishna, database is created. Database is created. Okay, database is created, but that database is empty, right? Because of that, it is not showing any errors, right? Okay, Nikita, right? Yes. Now database is created. Once the database is created, what next? Once the database is created, what next? Once the database is created, what next? Come on here. What is the next step? What is the next step? Come on. Once the database is created, what is the next step? Creating what? Collection. Cursor. Cursor in Oracle here, Nagaraju. Nagaraju. Cursor is in Oracle. Yes, not cursor. You are practicing very good here. Oracle, MySQL. Huh? You have to create a collection. What is a collection? What is a collection? Table. Collection is a table. We have to create table or not? Yes, we have to create a table, and within that table, we have to insert the data. Yes. How to create a collection here? Creating collection. Creating collection. To create a collection in MongoDB, use database object. What is your database object? Tell me here, what is your database object? Now, MyDB refers to which database? Come on here, MyDB refers to which database? My database, right? MyDB refers to which database? Array, my client refers to the connection here, Salman. Salman, my client refers to the database connection. MyDB refers to what? My database. Okay, which database you created? How you refer the database? Yes. Okay, very good. Yes, MyDB refers to what? My database. MyDB refers to my database. My client is a connection. MyDB is my database. अरे उतना अच्छा बताया ना यार. Yes. Yes. MyDB is an object of my database. Okay, everything refers by using name, right? Object name. Everything is treated as what? Object. Everything is treated as what here? Object, right? Everything is treated as a object. Fine. Yes. Now next is creating a collection. How can you create a collection is from suppose here you created, you established connection, created database, and then in database, my DB refers to which database? My database, and within my database, I created which one? One collection. What is the name of this collection? Customers. What is the name of the collection? Customers, right? Collection is a customers. Now, let us see. Let us see with the example. Yeah, just listen. Just concentrate. Just concentrate. Very simple. Very simple. Now, I'll just change the terms here because you people are very confused, right? So, connection is there. Connection is there. And this is database. Okay, now connection database. Let us see. Let us give my database. What is database name? Will give is library, library or something, right? Suppose assume that bank. What is the name of the database? Bank is a database. Database is created. Next is what? Next is what? Within the database, you have to create what? Collection. You have to create a collection. So collection, customer, customer equal to what? Database, database. Now this my client is what here? Connection, connection. This holds a connection of it. And server, my MongoDB server, you are creating bank database. Okay, within bank database, now I can write this name as what? Bank DB, bank DB dot, bank DB of, bank DB of, bank DB of, what you are creating, what you are creating, account, what you are creating, account, where you are trying to store whose details? Customer details. Okay, so I just give the name as account. Now I'm just writing a print. What is this collection? Collection is what? Created. Collection is created. Database is created. Collection is created. Yes, very good, Ramesh. Right. So save this, run this. Database is created. Collection is also created. Okay, na? Yes. Is it clear up to this? All of you. All of you. Is it clear up to this? Are bolo here. Yes. Up to this, is it clear or not? Okay. Very easy. Very easy, but very important. If you are working with data science, right? You may read the data from different databases. So one of the databases is what here? MongoDB, right? Yes. Okay. Okay, collection is created. Next, we have to perform which operations? We have to perform which operations? Array. We have to perform which operations? CRUD operations, inserting, updating, deleting, retrieving. You want to you want to open the account. Open account is nothing but, come on, yeah. Opening account is nothing but what? Opening account is nothing but create. Create. Yeah, reading nahi hota ya Ramesh. Opening account is nothing but create. You have to create one customer. Yes. Deposit is nothing but update. Withdraw is nothing but update balance, right? Withdraw is nothing but updating balance, right? And you want to view the balance, then that is nothing but retrieving or not. Yes. Transaction of money. Yeah. Yes. Just how to open means just type Mongo. Samir, type Mongo. Agar naya hai Mongo, when you type Mongo, if you are not getting this MongoDB console, if you are getting error not recognized as internal command or external command, you have to set the, what I said, you have to set the path. That is what I'm telling you, you have to set the path. Samir, you have to set the path here. Samir, you have to set the path. Have you set or not? Samir, have you set the path? Not set the path? अरे फिर क्यों कैसा आता है यार? If the path is not set, how it will come? You have to set the path. Yes. So that existing path also I have appended. Yes. Existing path also I have appended. Right? So take this path, copy this path. Okay, path equal to Ramesh. Yes, path equal to, already I put in document also here, Nikita. Yes. Okay. Again, percentage path. This is already existing path. Sorry, not here. Yeah, no problem. Yes, just set the path here. Path equal to, take the location of up to bin folder of your Mongo, right? So then try to add the existing path also. Then run the Mongo, then it will show you Mongo console. It will show you the Mongo console, right? Fine. Okay, now? Yes. Okay. So it took 1 hour to install your MongoDB, right? Yes. Over. Fine. Next is inserting, updating, deleting. Yes. Inserting, updating, deleting, and retrieving, right? Yes. Very good. Inserting, updating, deleting, and retrieving. So these CRUD operations we'll try to see tomorrow, right? CRUD operations we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk about inserting, updating, deleting, retrieving from MongoDB. Now, today what you have to do, install it and check is it everything is working properly or not. So that tomorrow we'll be seeing how to perform which operations, CRUD operations, right? Okay. Yes. Notes. Up to this notes I'll upload in my Telegram. Up to this I'll upload in my Telegram. In Telegram, now this is my Telegram ID. Okay. And this video is also available in the YouTube. Okay. This video is also available in YouTube. You can just see NareshIT YouTube, right? It is available in the YouTube. Okay. NareshIT channel is there, no? You can see that, right? Yes. Okay, now? Yeah, tomorrow also you'll have the class. Tomorrow is the last class. Okay. Only 2 classes. You don't get any certificate. No. Balaji. Yes. You don't get any certificate, right? Yes. So I'll upload, up to this, I'll upload the notes in the Telegram. Up to this, I'll upload the notes in the Telegram. This is my Telegram. Code with Satish Gupta, right? Yes. Any database, if you know it, that is good, right? Yes. Thank you very much. If you don't have Telegram install kar lo, yeah. What is there in that? Tribuvan, sorry, Tribuvan portal. Yes. What to do? I mean, yes. Yeah, we'll have other sessions also, like, right? We'll have workshops like this. If you have that much encouragement for me, definitely I'll conduct more workshops with new topics. If you encourage, then definitely we'll have more workshops. Naresh IT. YouTube channel name is Naresh IT. Okay, if you encourage it, I'll definitely take more number of workshops. Okay. DBS, not DBR, DBS. Okay. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Tomorrow also you'll have the class. Tomorrow also you have a class, right? Tomorrow also we have a class. Okay. Right. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow at 10 a.m. Tomorrow we'll start by 10 a.m. Right? Tomorrow also we'll have the class. Right? Yeah. We'll see like how to end-to-end project and everything we'll discuss. Right? So tomorrow also we have a class. Same time. Okay. 10 a.m. Tomorrow also we have a class at 10 a.m. Now I'll try to put notes now in my Telegram, Code with Satish Gupta. Right? Just join this Telegram. I'll upload the notes. And this recording is available in the This recording is available. This recording is available in the YouTube NareshIT channel. Thank you. Vaishali, thank you. Okay. Yes. Thank you, everyone. We'll see tomorrow at 10 a.m. Right. Thank you.